When talking about games, it's easy to boil them down by referencing a game or game series or even a game genre and putting "like" at the end. Sometimes it comes off as disingenuous, like overusing Souls-like without explaining the things that set the games apart. Other times it works quite well, like calling Lords of the Fallen clunky Souls when talking about the game's sluggish nature. Here though, calling Wild Dogs a Contra-like not only suits the game well, but is representative of the quality of the game that we have here. Defunct Games, I think, says it best.
This action-packed throwback is as close to Contra as you can get without being sued into oblivion.
Go check him out. He's definitely my go-to for retro-styled and indie game reviews, and he has a far greater appreciation for the run and gun genre than I do. I'm still a newcomer compared to his more veteran perspective. Wild Dogs has a story, but it's not what you're here for and can be simplified down to man with dog shoots aliens. You can even pet the dad blame dog too. Cute. In fact, you can even play as your emotional support animal here, using him to get to places you can't while dodging spikes, blasts, and whatever gets in the way of your pup doing his good boy duties. Using Teddy to do these things doesn't cause the pace to become sluggish either, and it fits surprisingly well with the varied gameplay sections that the game has to offer. As you can probably tell, the game is fast-paced, fun, and yet it also has a hint of strategy under the surface. You can shoot in 8 directions, pilot choppers, mechas, ride a motorcycle that reminds me of dying during Battletoads with my dad as a kid, and much more that really gets my nostalgia senses tingling. The color palette is, well, whatever you want it to be, with the ability to change the color during gameplay with the simple press of a button. This reddish shade right here is most likely my favorite. The color changing doesn't really have any real gameplay purpose regardless of the story reason it's there, so I just picked the one that was easiest on the eyes for me. Some of the colors did affect gameplay for me though, making it harder to discern bullets from the background or camouflaging enemies in the hail of bullets as they approached, so you should probably keep that in mind when you're experimenting. The enemy variety isn't huge, but I wouldn't call it lacking either. Although the argument can be made that they are too similar to Contra at times, you won't hear me complaining that it's necessarily a bad thing. In fact, I've been playing the Contra collection on PS4, and this game honestly fits in pretty nicely with them. You know what you're in for if you're familiar with the genre, and if you're not, then they are rather simple to discern from one another and learn their speed, attacks, and range. Adapt and survive, overcome as you run. The levels, although having similar backgrounds, are mostly set apart fairly well, especially with the platforming and the way that enemies, even bosses at points, are affected by it. This is something else that the colors may hinder your enjoyment of though, but when you have backgrounds like this one in Mission 2 that I absolutely adore, it's easy for me to forgive it. I don't know about you, but the red really enhanced this level for me far more than any other color visually would. It reminded me of the cherry blossoms in Japan, or dual areas from Ghost of Tsushima. I am a huge fan of it, and I could talk about it all day, but anyway, let's just go ahead and move on so I don't just keep gushing for hours. The music and sound effects all work pretty well. In fact, the game's music is surprisingly easy to listen to. It keeps me hyped, engaged, but most importantly, it helps me recover when I felt like raging. It has such a nice, chill vibe to it, but not enough that it detracts from the experience of shooting and running. Which, full transparency here, I raged quite a few times. The difficulty is here. Don't let me belittle that. Although a couple times here and there, the reasons for the rage was because of the levels themselves and how they were designed just kinda ticking me off. It's the bosses that really got to me, with many bosses that vary in difficulty as we lead up to the head honcho that pops up for a battle at the end of levels. They are all honestly fairly creative, visually as well as mechanically set apart from one another, with strategies to beat them being able to be formulated on the fly once you get their movesets down. They don't feel unfair, they actually feel like a challenge that you, even going in, are capable of overcoming. Every time you beat a boss, it just feels more and more rewarding. With the only caveats for me, actually no, I don't want to spoil the very thing you have to look forward to, you know? So we're gonna go ahead and move on to whether or not I recommend Wild Dogs. Heck yeah, I do. It's a very cheap game, especially given the quality, respect, and honor it gives while paying homage to the Contra games as well as other retro games from the time. It's a throwback to a simpler time where games focus on fun factor over large worlds, playable action over cinematic set pieces, with humor that complements it all as well. There are many references to past games as well as risks they take all on their own in a world that they build up within the 5 levels. This is a game for the gamer that is tired of the bloat, that's tired of microtransactions, that's tired of big open worlds with nothing to do, that's tired of seeing the same temples repeatedly in Assassin's Creed games, just getting tired of the same thing over and over again, tired of the fetch quest, which I got another video that's either coming out or is out that relied on the fetch quest to just push the regular narrative forward. If you're tired of that, if you're tired of feeling pressured to clear out encampments, to climb buildings, to activate towers, to take one vehicle from one place to another, to grind out levels, to get a better gear score, to loot weapons every time you kill an enemy and have to go to the menu and replace the weapons and do it again over and over again, to never feeling like you're powerful enough or doing enough or strong enough or accomplishing enough because there's still more to do. If that gameplay loop, if those mechanics are something that you just want to break from for even a moment, I can wholeheartedly recommend this game to you because it has no fluff. It is unapologetically a game meant to be played by players that just want to play a game. And I know that that entire rant was entirely off script, but I felt like I needed to say it because this represents what gaming could still be. Big budget games could still make linear experiences, could still make games that don't require a lot of action from the player when it comes to overthinking or overloading you with waypoints and stuff that aren't necessarily always beneficial to the experience. The action, pacing, humor, difficulty, and even the vibe represents a golden age of gaming, but this time you can pick the color all on your own. Thank you so much for the review, Key. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that watched the video this long. You guys are amazing. Join the Discord if you haven't already and you feel compelled to join the community. We would love to have you, and I really appreciate you just giving me the time of day. So thank you. For more news, reviews, and whatever we choose, and that includes you, stay tuned to Nerdsfeed. Have a great day.